All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Anything Goes podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Nate.
And then I guess we'll kind of start off with the first thing out of the gate, vaccines.
Yeah,
Is,
so we were going to talk about little thing in DC happened over the weekend, I think. I don't know which day exactly. But the DC legislature pretty much said that it's not a forced vaccine, but if for the schools in DC, if you're if you're a kid and you're going to school in DC, they can give your kid a non-parental consent vaccine. So they don't even have to tell the parents. They just give the kid the vaccine, which is dangerous.
that's kind of crazy. I think the no parental consent is a thing that kind of gets me. I think that the vaccine, I think if anything works, I'm saying get it out as fast as possible. Anything that can get us back to normal life. But I think you shouldn't be able to force your kid. I think there needs to be parental consent. I 100% agree with you on that front.
Oh, dude, if I was a parent in DC, I would lose it. If randomly my kid comes home and just like, oh, well, what'd you learn today? Oh, well, I got vaccinated. They
Yeah.
stuck a needle in my arm.
But
I'd be
is there
like,
anyone
"Oh."
that's really against the COVID vaccine?
I don't think that and them just literally just doing it.
I think I lost you there
Just
for a second.
just
What
doing the
would you
vaccine.
say?
I said I think it's more about just consent. If schools are the ones that are be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna give you a vaccine no matter what your parents say, then I think that's gonna cause a lot of
I
very
don't know if it would get to that though. You think?
yeah, absolutely. I
Uh,
know would your parents be okay if the school just went, hey, we vaccinated your kid today?
I mean, no, I don't think. I think they need to have parental consent. But then, what are you gonna do? Make the kids that didn't have it stay home?
No, I think it's so the way I would perceive it as it's kind of like the HPV thing. Like you go to college,
Mm-hmm.
that where you have to take the 3 HPV shots if you actually want to go on campus and just go to the university.
Mm-hmm.
But and if you don't do it, I'm assuming that they just tell you that you go to another school.
Yeah. No, I think the sooner that we can get this vaccine rolling out as fast as possible. But then I also was thinking about this the other day. With these vaccines, we don't know with how fast they push it out, what could be the long-term health effects of some of these. You know
Yeah, I
what I
think
mean?
about that.
I was thinking about that the other day. It's so new. I granted, I definitely think we need to get this thing out as fast as possible, get return to normal life, stop people getting sick, stop people dying. But at the same time, we don't really know. There's no long-term studies on it.
Yeah, yeah,
There
that kind of
can't be.
freaks me out, to tell you the truth. Especially studying health, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I just don't see a need in myself, in me personally getting a vaccine from a disease that I have a 99.99 chance of living from.
Yeah, but it's about you spreading it to other people.
Well, that's why they get the vaccine.
People our age, we're both 22 years old and we're 23 years old. I don't know how the order is going to go. I was reading something December 11th. I think the first people are going to start to get it, like the Pfizer and I forget the other company that's making it. I don't know. I don't know who's going to force. I'm assuming healthcare workers, government officials, older people. It might be a while before people like you and me can get it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If my grandparents would be like, "Oh yeah, I would get it." I'm like, "Well, yeah, you probably should. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're 80."
The people who are most at risk for this, people with health conditions, all that, I think they should be the first people to get it.
Oh yeah, I'm not they definitely should.
Yeah.
And if the other people, even if you get it and I think that the immunity lasts for, they speculate, around 3 months now. That's kind of
Yeah, I think it's three to four.
yeah, even if you get it, then you can easily still create a large herd immunity just by people getting it and then getting over it, and people taking the vaccine that are most susceptible to dying from it, essentially.
Yeah. Did you see what the Pennsylvania governor did?
Did he was it the 10 people thing in the
No, no,
house?
no. So the Pennsylvania governor came out yesterday. So maybe even so close to Pennsylvania, we go in there for everything. So
Yeah.
now starting from 5 p.m. Wednesday to 8 a.m. Friday morning, you cannot sell alcohol in the state of Pennsylvania at bars or restaurants.
I don't understand that.
what his rationale was, and it's not a bad rationale. You ever heard of Blackout Wednesday? Everyone, everyone comes home from college and everything. Everyone goes out to bars. You wake up the next morning, it's Thanksgiving. What his rationale was to stop people from going out and doing things on Thanksgiving, which I do see his point. Cases are on the rise, but at a certain point, these businesses are getting crushed from COVID. They're not even just restaurants. There are businesses that will never come back ever again from this, which is terrible. And I see his point. He's just trying to save lives, but at a certain point, you're like, you're telling businesses what to do, which is crazy to me. But I see his point. I see both sides of the argument. Is what I'm trying to say. I see both sides of the argument.
Yeah, I don't agree with anything these governors are doing. Like, I get it. They're trying to. It's like they're trying to be your parent. You're trying to be your.
They're trying to do what's best, but no one knows what's best in a situation.
Yeah, exactly. And like, especially them, like, yeah, they're following the science, quote unquote, but like, I mean, they just freaking they threw a haymaker right hook, nailed small businesses right in the jaw, and then they're gonna do this and follow it up with a haymaker left hook and finally knock them out. Like, then they're done after that. So
yeah, like, I know a lot of people, like my parents' businesses, any other businesses, every business, no matter what sector, no matter what industry, is just getting killed during this time. And it's so hard to see because it's something that businesses, like these people may work their entire lives for. They're realizing their dreams, and then this comes around, and it is sad to say.
Yeah. And it'd be like one thing if they went out of business just from people being like, I don't feel comfortable going to a restaurant right now. Like, that's one thing, but then like them not even having that chance. That's the worst part.
I agree. I think they shouldn't be able to limit takeout orders or anything. And I think it also goes back to support your local businesses. Not just your restaurants. You need to support the businesses in your neighborhood.
Exactly. And that's why everyone who listens to this should go support the islanderpost.com. Best satire on the market.
Your business isn't taking in any revenue anyway, though. So everyone still should go support.
All my subscribers, premium subscribers, they get to pitch ideas, pitch stories, as long as they're appropriate, obviously, because it's for all ages. But, you get special kind of deals, the whole nine.
I know. So let's move on. So after 30 years, The Undertaker finally retired. I know you got a lot to talk about this. I, growing up, wasn't much as a wrestling guy as some other people, but I definitely see how this was a big thing in wrestling. So I know you want to talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah. So I haven't followed wrestling in so long, but when I was a kid, absolutely loved it. Went to a few shows, like the whole nine, like had like shirts and stuff, just a complete nerd, like had the games. And The Undertaker was my favorite dude, always my favorite dude, because I remember just watching it as a kid, like, and I watched it for I think a few years, and just like the entire time watching it, the guy never spoke, never did anything. Like his whole shtick was just like not evil, but like kind of like that guy, not talking, just goes out there, gets things done, like does his like pins the guy and then goes back, like doesn't start drama, just ends it. And I love that about him. And then all of a sudden, like I was watching it. It was right before WrestleMania, and he just lays into Batista, I think it was, and just gives a whole big speech, like, and just fires me up. I loved it, every minute of it. Undertaker was the GOAT, just like 6'5" dude, huge, strong as a bull. But yeah, it's sad to see him go after so long. Honestly, probably like he put in his work, he put in the time. So
he got paid for it too. He got paid.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I don't know. The one thing about wrestling, I don't know. It's just I would try to watch it a little bit when I was younger. I could see right through it. Like, this is so fake. I don't know. It's so bad. These guys are. It's like you get the worst actors in the world. Be like, hey, let's go do some wrestling.
Yeah. Well, my parents. The reason why I stopped watching it was because I can't remember the guy's name, but he OD'd on some kind of drugs, but then it was an absurd amount of steroids, like all those guys. And my parents are like, you're not going to be watching this now. Like, they're all doing steroids. They're all promoting this, blah, 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 blah. Which, I mean, they weren't promoting it, but they were definitely doing steroids. Like, come on. Let's be real.
I mean, yeah, you're telling me like people like The Rock were never on steroids after, come on. Like, Those guys are huge.
I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock like came out like next week and was like, "Oh yeah, I've been taking steroids for a while," because he got huge.
He is ungodly big. Like I remember I was watching. I don't. Their movies are not good, but those Fast and Furious movies. There was one where he was like just his shoulders were like this big. I'm like, okay, that is not physically possible.
Yeah. Like, what's even like the evolutionary advantage to that? Like, yeah, like you're stupid strong, but like
to a certain extent, like what do you really like nowadays? Like, okay, when you're a caveman, like being super strong, but now it's 2020.
yeah, even then, like those muscles need a lot of oxygen, so you're gonna have to be going like just panting like a monkey or something, just like trying to like get all the air in you can to oxygenize them and oxygenate. I don't even know, one of those two, but like try to just get that blood pumping. But again, like I would not be surprised if he was just like, yeah, I've been taking some steroids. No, not that bad. I like them, like just stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be interesting, but yeah, so WWE definitely not something that was all the way up my alley, but definitely a big moment in sports, especially when a moment where sports isn't really kind of doing much right now.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking about sports. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, just COVID has put such a damper on everything.
It's crazy. Like you're watching these NFL games, and someone makes a ridiculous catch behind the back, and it's just dead silent. Oh, you hear the announcer. It's like I miss that. I miss looking in the crowd, seeing everyone freaking out, 80,000 fans. Like
yeah,
and especially like Trevor. So Trevor Lawrence a couple weeks ago got COVID, and now just got off the air. Wasn't able to play against Forest State because the game was canceled, but he was probably a front runner for the Heisman. Was projected to win it. He's one of the best. He's probably gonna go number one in the draft. And now because of COVID, he wasn't able to play the Notre Dame game and I forget the other game. But his draft stock stayed the same. But he might not win the Heisman anymore because of COVID. Something that he didn't even know. Like it's one of those. It's like a little thing you don't even know you're getting it, and it really affected his chance. It affected a lot of sports athletes, I think. But I also see the other side. Like I was talking to my dad the other day. Like there are a lot of players in the NFL on practice squads and on teams that outside of COVID probably would never have made an NFL roster. But you need more people to do all these people going on the COVID list, injuries and everything. So actually, there is a little bit of benefit of COVID being able to see someone kind of, realize their dreams.
Yeah. I mean, they're losing so much, like every sport's losing so much money.
Oh, it is horrible. You feel, I mean, you can't really feel bad for these guys. These are all billionaires, but it's still business and they're getting crushed.
I feel bad more for the fans, honestly. Because I mean, think about it, like these people will like you get like some just blue collar, hardworking family in like Detroit, and all they want to do is just go see a Lions game. That's all they want to do. Big Lions got like family. They've wanted to see him. The kids wanted to see him their entire life. Probably like a 10-year-old kid's got his jersey and everything. And then like you're just like, oh nope, sorry, no fans, COVID, and like I don't know.
I will say on the other side of that, if you're really trying to watch a game, like it's a Super Bowl, maybe your team's in it or a playoff or something. Hot take, I think it's better to watch a game at home than it is in a stadium. Because you can hear the announcers, you can actually see the instant replays, I feel like you just pay attention more. And on the other side of it, you got a bathroom right there, you got your drinks in the fridge, make your own food.
Yeah.
You're not paying for parking, you don't got to worry about driving home or anything. So I think if you're really trying to really enjoy the game more, yeah, you miss the whole social aspect of it. But I think if you're really trying to watch it, I think it's a hot take, but I think watching a game at home maybe is a little better.
Yeah, no, it's definitely more for what. That's why I can agree just because.
Just more of an experience though going to the game.
Yeah, it's obviously. Like we were talking about like the movie theaters. I think last time, and just like I love being in the movie theaters, but like it's obviously. If you want to sit down and really watch the movie, it's better to just sit in your room, like watch it on your computer, sit down and watch it like downstairs. And just
put the lights off, make a little popcorn, nothing better.
Exactly, and like no one's like you got no peep, like no sound, no one's like coming in annoying you.
Yeah, but there's something about seeing it on that giant screen though. This just sounds way better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to get to the movies in a second, but I know you want to talk about something scientists found out in Utah. I can't even pronounce the word of it.
The monolith.
The monolith.
Monolith. So y'all that don't know what a monolith is, and I didn't know what it was until this morning. It's like
I've never even heard the word, to be honest.
Well, it all has to do with aliens, and I have a little prediction coming out,
Oh, well,
I had
let's hear it.
so a monolith it's like a strange. It doesn't have to be metal, but like in terms of like alien speak, I guess you could say it's like typically a metal rectangle that just kind of goes up, and that's like all it is, just a metal rectangle on the ground. But and it was found in Utah, like randomly in the desert, like just totally random, and like obviously like could be a prank, and I think it is a prank, and I tell you why. Because if you look at the picture of it, the monolith it like looks like screws going down the side, so it looks like they just just use a screw gun and like put all these metal plates together to create it. But
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. Oh, I'm looking at it. So,
like
oh, so a monolith is. Oh, okay, I see what they are. It's kind of like the Stonehenge things, or these like the things in the UK. Oh, okay. See, I know what those things are now. Okay.
yeah, I was thinking like it's kind of like an obelisk, if you know what that is. Obelisk is
Yeah.
basically just like a pyramid, but it's not. It's something totally different. But so my theory is that right after COVID hit in like March or something like that, FBI comes out and be like, yeah, there's aliens.
Yeah,
We
and
don't know what
everyone was like really okay with it. Like they published all of these like Navy fighter pilot like logs and stuff like that, these videos where they see these odd like things fly in the air, and everyone just kind of blew it off because it was all about COVID. But it's kind of crazy. Like they kind of said like, yeah, aliens are real.
exactly. And alien sighting, like UFO sightings, have really really ramped up recently, and
Hmm.
especially like in Hawaii. Apparently, there was one in like broad daylight. So they like, and everyone, apparently there's recordings of it and everything. I haven't seen them yet. Like this is all from like what I
Hmm.
saw on YouTube and stuff. So if you have all these sightings and you have like this monolith coming out and it's all across the world, I think maybe, just maybe, that they reveal themselves to us. Like I'm talking big
That
mother
that is a really hot take right there.
coming down from the sky, big mothership. Everyone's gonna be totally surprised. COVID
We're
will
gonna be
be
all in
gone for
trouble
a
then.
while.
It's not gonna go well.
I don't know. Maybe we can all start coughing on the aliens, get them sick as a dog.
Well, COVID's a cure to fight the aliens.
COVID's actually a blessing in disguise for us to save the human race, just shooting COVID bullets at the alien ship.
That is an interesting take. I gotta say, I did not see that coming. That is an interesting take right there.
Yeah, I know. It was. I was thinking about it before we started, and I was like, oh gosh, like so many sightings so fast, like everything's coming together, and like the world's already kind of distracted just with COVID and everything like that, and like economic confusion, and just like what happens, like aliens come in, boom, everyone's like, what is that? Like looking up in the sky, just
That is
wild.
that is a wild take right there.
But
All right,
if
what
for
are you
some
saying?
reason, if I'm right, we better have 1 million subscribers because I am a prophet then.
Yeah, I don't know. Our channel views are go way up right there.
Yeah, we got a whopping, like a huge shout out to our 5 subscribers. Well, three actually, because 2 of them are us. But
Yeah, so not
our 3 subscribers, you guys are the goats, sticking
just
with us
keep
from day one.
and leave some comments. Anything you guys want us to talk about, we will talk about.
Seriously,
All right,
like, share, comment, subscribe, all the whole nine, whole nine.
whole 9 yards. So I know we're gonna do a little power ranking, Mount Rushmore. We're gonna call them. We're gonna go top 4 of Thanksgiving foods and top 4 movies, and these are all in our opinion. All right, so you want to go one by one? You want to do that like that? We're gonna start off with movies.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I'll go first. So my number 1 movie of all time, and I know you know this answer for the people out there, it is the 1990 classic Goodfellas. That movie is incredible. The writing is incredible. Martin Scorsese is incredible. That movie is one of those movies that will go down in time. It is just so well told. It's one of those movies that I can watch a million times and still be hooked on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think we all understand that. So that's your number one.
Number one, if I was on a stranded island and it was one of those like you can take a couple things with you, it's that movie right there.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
All right,
Mine
what's
is
your number 1?
Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah, mine. That's on my list too. That movie is incredible. That's my number. I'll skip it. That's my number 2 on my list right there. The way I think Christopher Nolan is one of the best filmmakers out
I
there.
think
What were you saying?
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, and like
He the
so
way
like
he just tells the
I
story,
picked.
he wrote all of those with him and his brother, which is crazy. They wrote all of those movies and they set up with Batman Begins. But I think there's something about The Dark Knight that's awesome. And Heath Ledger in that role is incredible.
Oh yeah, they all kill it. They all kill it big time.
What
And just
I like about that movie is Christopher Nolan slips in little things. It's not like even like them saying it. Like there's one part where where the Joker has the two boats with the bombs on it, and
mhm.
how earlier in the movie he says like I'm not a guy with a plan. If I caught the car like a dog chasing a car, I wouldn't know what to do. Like I just go. But then if you look in that scene, you can look back and watch it. He's reading off a piece of paper,
Oh, he's
which is crazy because he's kind of contradicting what he says there and everyone else because it kind of shows a little method to his madness.
oh, he's got, and I'll even add to that point about him not having a plan. He always has a plan. The guy,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I think everyone see the scene like when he's dressed up like a like the nurse. And
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of like a little tidbit, but like how he even has his makeup and everything on. He's wearing a mask, and then like he walks in to go see Harvey Dent, and then
He
like
goes high.
and he takes off the mask, and Harvey Dent freaks out. But it's like that's the Joker. He's got his makeup
Mm-hmm.
on and everything.
Yeah.
Like the mask isn't stopping anything. But what I was gonna say is like how he's holding his thumb on the
Mm-hmm.
hammer of the gun.
So
Like
even if Dent pulled the trigger, the gun wouldn't have gone off.
exactly. And then another part of that movie was when he got half the mob's money, and it was in that pyramid, and he burns it down. And he's like, "Oh, I hate money and all that stuff." But he wasn't doing that to burn his own money. He was doing that to kill the mafia, essentially.
Yeah,
Like because
because
he
the
had
money controlled the mafia. By doing that, he took out his competition in a sense.
exactly, and now he essentially runs the city after
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Yeah.
all he would have to do is defeat Batman. But
Did you know in his original script before like they were filming the movie and everything was done, Christopher Nolan already started working on The Dark Knight Rises. The original script of that movie had Heath Ledger's Joker teaming up with the Riddler. Actually, that
oh
was the
really?
original plan for the script.
Well, he's
But
in the next.
obviously, due to Heath Ledger's death, the whole script changed.
Yeah, the Riddler's in the next Batman supposedly.
Yeah, the next Batman I think could be incredible. Could be bad, but I think
It
it
go either
could
way.
be incredible.
That's definitely going to be it's going to go either way for sure. I'm excited
Yeah.
for it.
All right, so that was my number 2 movie. So what was your number 2?
Jaws,
Jaws. Ah, that is a great movie. Spielberg, one of Spielberg's first movies.
first blockbuster of all time.
Yeah,
And
1975, I think it was.
oh yeah, I mean that
Which is
movie,
crazy.
and it's like it's just so it just captures like people so well. Like Quint, he just tells his story of like why he does why he goes out hunt sharks, and you know what the Indianapolis is, where in World War
USS
II.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it sank and those guys were on the lifeboats for a couple days. I don't know a lot about it.
So what happened was they delivered the first bomb, the first atomic bomb, and Quint tells about he was on the ship. He tells a story. What happened was as soon as the plane took off, a Japanese sub hit him with a torpedo, and the ship started sinking. And so they had, I think, something like 1,000 men in the water. I don't know the exact statistics, but an absurd amount of men got eaten by sharks that night. Like like the way he was telling the story, it was like just like it was so real. Like he was just like had a dead stare, and he was just talking about. He's like, yeah, 1 minute you'd see someone, and the next minute they would just be you wouldn't see him. They'd be dead by a shark. He said you'd be hearing screaming all night, and just like it's just so real. And then that's
Mhm.
why he did what he did, and eventually he got eaten by the shark too. But like spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it.
I think it's
If
been
you
out
haven't
long.
seen
It's
it,
been out for like 50 years. I think
yeah,
you got to see it by then.
yeah, if you haven't seen it, that's definitely on you for sure.
All right, so I will go with my number
But
3
that's my
movie.
justification.
No, Jaws is an incredible movie. Not on my top 4, I would say, but it's up there. It is up there as one of the best movies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 3 is The Big Short. I talked about it a little bit last week. Aaron Sorkin, I think, is an incredible writer, but I'm also a little accounting finance nerd, I guess, a little bit. I think the whole financial crisis in 2008, 2009 is something that's incredible. The reason that all of this happened is because all these people, these creditors were going bottom feeding, giving house to everybody. People take loans out in their houses because like they say in the movie, you're making too much money. All the fees and everything, which is absolutely crazy with all these mortgage-backed securities. Like, I just think it's one of those incredible movies. Also, it's a movie that if you knew nothing about all that, like most people probably don't know a lot about the financial crisis. I just knew because I grew up with what my dad did and stuff like that. I think it can dumb it down. Like, it'll do those cut scenes where it's like Selena Gomez or Margot Robbie talking about these little things. I think it's a movie that if you don't know anything, I think it can really you can learn a lot. And I think the way Aaron Sorkin tells a story is incredible.
Yeah, that is one movie that's been on my watch list for so long, and I don't know why I haven't watched it. But my business teacher, our freshman year of college, she was like, "Yeah, extra credit, go watch this movie and write like a small paper on it." Didn't watch the movie, wrote the paper, but but like
I
again,
remember that.
I'm pretty sure like I would ask you, I'd be like, "Hey, what happened?" But like I know I need to watch it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it's
that was good.
I love it. I think it's a incredible movie. I think Christian Bale is incredible in it. I think Steve Carell is incredible in it. It's just it's crazy how it's basically a true story. It's a true story. All of that happened,
Yeah,
and it's insane how a lot of people lost everything, but those people in those movies profited a lot from that. Being smart, being right.
yeah, that's true. All right. So my number 3, and I know you'll appreciate this one, is I put Shawshank up there.
Oh, that I was so for my fourth pick, I was flirting with that idea the whole time. That movie is awesome. I think Morgan Freeman is incredible. Just there's not a lot that happens in that movie, like, but the way that the story unfolds and everything about his life in this prison and eventually him getting out is incredible. And that's one of the best scenes in movies when he's just sitting there in the rain.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And like I just this idea just popped in my head right now. It's just like because we watched Prison Break, and especially
Mm-hmm.
the first season of Prison Break and Shawshank are very very similar. Just
Yeah.
he befriends the warden. He kind of gets him on his side. Like he's very smart. He knows exactly where to go. Andy Dufresne, the king.
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, the king. And like I was kind of skeptical about putting that on there because especially because I watched it for the first time. I think when I first came back
Mm-hmm.
from school in May, I believe. I just watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, that movie is incredible. Because I know like people say it's top 5 movie all time, stuff like that. But it's just so well written and such a good story. And then I didn't. You can go ahead with your fourth, but I didn't do a fourth. I did a trilogy. Like what's your?
Trilogy. Okay. See, I thought about doing that too. So my number 4. This was tough for me. I was flirting back and forth between a few movies, but I ended up going McCall and Audible. I am going to say The Godfather. I think it is a classic movie. Both 1 and 2 are both. 3 is terrible. Like if you haven't seen 3, you're doing okay. 1 and 2, both of those movies, the way that Francis Ford Coppola wrote those movies and directed those movies, and it gave people like Al Pacino. That was one of his first movies, James Caan.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Marlon Brando just portrays that character, I think that movie's incredible. They're long. They are not like if you're sitting down for those movies, you got to book out a couple like 3 hours. Like they are long movies. So I'm not for the faint of heart, but I think it's an incredible movie.
Yeah, I know that's like one of the few sequels that
is better than the original.
Yeah, that is better than the original. And before I name
Robert De Niro too. That was one of Robert De Niro's first roles, and then look at him. He became probably one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
You ever seen Cape Fear with him?
Oh, crazy movie. The accent that he does in that. Oh,
yeah.
Is that your number 4, or are you just saying?
No, that's not my number.
Okay,
4. That can be an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. All right, that's an honorable mention. I remember.
Movie. I don't really like it.
Just the way he says, like, counselor.
Oh yeah, counselor. Yeah, is it weird? I don't do a good.
I don't do it well either.
Accent or real one.
All right. So you're number 4. Your last pick.
So I did trilogy.
Okay.
And, I mean, no shocker, best trilogy of all time. And I'm not talking about the whole series, but I'm talking about just the trilogy, the 3. The Lord of the Rings.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, knew it. Love it.
I knew exactly where you're going with that. God, those movies are incredible.
It's just so much heart. There's so much heart in them. There's so many good lessons.
What I love is Sean Bean, the guy who plays Boromir in those movies, and he played I can't remember his name, the dad in Game of Thrones, one of the Starks. can't remember his name right now. It's so sad. He dies in like every movie, like the beginning of a series, beginning of a movie. I mean, I think he's an incredible actor.
Oh yeah. Oh, he went out fighting. He
He
went out
did.
fighting.
He did. He did. I think, yeah. Some people aren't into like the fantasy kind of aisle movies, but
Yeah.
I think those movies, if you can get past that, if you're one of those people, I think the story of those movies of friendship and hard work,
Hmm.
incredible.
I think it's just like there's like so many like the whole entire thing is a struggle, and then just like
Hmm.
finally like they do it, and then they're just like it's just like a whole new. They just have a whole new life essentially after
Hmm.
it was like that big of a like imagine saving the world, but
No one
uh
knows they saved the world too. Like, and then Sam comes back and gets married, and then Bilbo and Frodo from after destroying the ring, it affected them so much over those years that it basically killed them. Basically, not killed them, I guess isn't the right word, but it took such a toll on them that their lives they can never go back to what it was.
well it was just like Bilbo when they took the ring from him, or when they took the ring and they went to go destroy it. Like when the next time they show him in the end of the third movie, and he just looks so old because
Yeah,
the
because the
ring
ring
was
kept him
keeping him
young.
young. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
keeping him young, and and then he just withered away, and obviously he had like no, he had like no.
you can even see on Frodo like there's like burns along his chest where the ring was, which is crazy.
I would want to know like how strong the temptation was. I know it's
I think it's on like you can't even put it into words.
yeah, because I know they didn't give it to men for that very reason, because men
Hmm.
are so easily persuaded by temptation and
Yeah,
easily fall
agreed.
into it. But yeah, that's like clearly that's just the best series. And I like The Hobbit. Like, don't get me wrong, Hobbit's great, but it's not nearly as good.
It's nowhere near as good. It's kind of like the original Star Wars would
I
nowhere
like Star
be
Wars.
near the prequels. But okay, but I watched me and my dad watched Revenge of the Sith yesterday. Gosh darn, that movie is incredible.
I like that one, dude. So many people hate on it. It's one of my
Everyone
favorite.
hate on it's an awesome movie. Awesome movie.
When they're fighting it, and then they both have the same moves, and they're just doing the force push at
Oh,
the same time.
I was
It's
like, yeah,
just like,
great movie. Everyone hates on it, but I think it's great.
oh yeah, for sure. And then like I'm gonna name out a few honorable mentions. Rocky, especially Rocky 2. Rocky 2 is my favorite.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people like the fourth one when he fights the
Hmm.
Russian, but like I know he got his body fat was so low, his body fat percentage was so low that he got really sick because he
Hmm.
just had nothing to burn.
Yeah,
Uh, and like he was definitely on roids too. Like, come
I
on.
mean, yeah.
Uh,
My honorable mention was definitely The Departed and Saving Private Ryan. I think both of those movies are incredible.
oh yeah, yeah. Saving Private Ryan, like especially the opening scene, like
One of the greatest war movie, probably the greatest war movie ever made. And it was like, yeah, like you were just about to say, like the opening scene, they would show it to veterans of D-Day, and they were like, it's exactly what happened. Yeah,
yeah,
it was that horrible.
I know. It's like you just you when I went to Omaha Beach, like just to put it in perspective, we got there on the bus, and I was thinking like Saving Private Ryan, like how it's just gonna be like a little like 50-yard run up to the beach. No, it's like 300 yards of
Yeah,
flat,
it is long.
like really flat, and then all of a sudden there's like it's just a 90-degree up cliff, and they still had the pillbox, the German pillbox inside the cliff, and it's just target practice, dude. It was so I if you go there, like it just makes you like think that like you never understand how in the world that the United States did that. And it's just
Hmm.
they send in so many men at once that just like this is the only thing we can do. And that wasn't
Yeah,
even the most fortified beach by the Germans. It was actually in the port of Calais, which is the closest point between France and might be Belgium, but France and the UK. A little tidbit of information there. But
yeah.
yeah. And then
And it really is amazing. Like, and those guys were our age and many younger than us. We're about 22, 23 years old. Yeah, those guys, it was younger than us that people were just going out there.
oh yeah, well that's one of the reasons why they pick 18-year-olds and stuff is because they think they're invincible, because
Hmm.
they have like so much testosterone at that age, and you're just like they're like they think that they can do like conquer the world, so they're like, all
Yeah.
right, have at it. Like it's
All
all
right.
you.
Well, we're going to end the podcast on a lighter note than that. because it's Thanksgiving time. We're just gonna go top 4 Thanksgiving foods. I'm gonna go 1 through 4 real quick. We're running pretty long on this episode.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go number 1. I think you can't beat it. It's the best Thanksgiving. Just apple pie. Apple pie, a little whipped cream, maybe a little ice cream.
Just a classic.
You really can't beat it. It's classic. Second, mac and cheese. My household is not as much a mac and cheese family as as many other people, but like a baked mac and cheese, incredible.
Yeah.
Number 3, stuffing. Everyone has their family recipe or their kind of recipe that they love, and mine's my I believe it's my great grandmother's recipe. Incredible. And then number 4, just classic old mashed potato.
Any gravy?
Yeah, a little bit, but not overboard, but yeah, a little bit.
I load it up. I make like a I put like the ladle and dip it in into the mashed potato, so it's like
you make like a little. You should make like a little volcano or something.
Exactly. So I've actually I have never had stuffing, and I know that's weird. That's freakishly weird, and I know I'd probably love it because it's mostly bread, I believe.
It's cooked bread and butter.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's why I'm sure if I ate it, I'm gonna eat it this Thanksgiving. I'll give you all a recap of what I think.
Can't wait.
A little review. But my number 1, sweet potatoes with burnt marshmallows. Marshmallows have to be burnt. If they're
Agreed.
not burnt, it's not up there. Not even in the top 5. Number 2, ham. For those who don't know who it is, really salty ham. Like Mike said it earlier, that's like Virginia ham. I guess that's the name of it. But I mean, I live in Virginia, so I guess that's just
ham to you.
And then, yeah, just ham. Not like a big honey glazed kind of guy. It's all right, like brown sugar. It's okay.
Honestly, in my opinion, a nice cooked ham over turkey any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Turkey's not even my top 10.
Turkey is so overrated in my opinion. I know we're gonna get a lot of slander for that, but I just think a good especially ham on Christmas or something. Not many people. Everyone says it's a bad opinion, but I'm like, there's turkey people and there's ham people. I think it's pretty split down the middle though.
I eat the turkey every Thanksgiving, but I think it's it's more to pay respect to it. But I load that up with gravy too. I have to. It's so dry, honestly. It's just so dry.
I'm telling you, ham just better. Ham just so much better.
Yeah.
All right. So mac and cheese. I mean, it's a classic. It's good any time of the year.
It's a staple. And then
really is.
4th, last one, like I did the movies, I just put dessert, and that's pumpkin pie. It's just so seasonal at that time. It's like peak pumpkin pie season. I'm not a huge sweets guy, tell you the truth. I mean, I like it. I like the occasional like chocolate bar, I guess. But pumpkin pie is just it's so good too, especially if it's homemade.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, I like it, to be honest. But apple pie, I've had it so many times, it's good.
Yeah. I will say an honorable mention for me is definitely crescent rolls or biscuits. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that you're not eating enough carbs on that day, but it's just a little crescent roll on top of that. Nice warm. Oh, can't beat it.
Yeah, my dad's been smoking. He's been smoking a brisket for the past 2 years. So that is, oh my gosh, I'd put it on my number 1. But that's not typical Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's not typical. That's the ward Thanksgiving right there.
That's more unique to my family, so I didn't put it up there. But yeah, I mean, those are Thanksgiving gaggers. Just something that's you're gonna feel sick after eating all of it.
Oh, definitely. You just sit on the couch, you watch a little football, and honestly, at that point, you don't even want to have a beer or anything. You're just sitting there oh, you're so full. But it's a good full. It's a good full.
Oh yeah. After that, you're watching football, pass out by the end of the third quarter.
Oh yeah, that third quarter is a little bit that's bold. It's usually earlier. they wake up at 11 o'clock, maybe catch a tail end.
And it's all the uncles are just sitting there dead asleep.
Yeah, within 10 minutes, grandfathers, all those. All right, well, that seems like a good place to end for the day. Like we said, comment, share with us with anybody you think you like. Comment what you want us to talk about. We will talk about anything. It's Anything Goes podcast. We will talk about anything. Everyone have a safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy seeing family if you are seeing family. If you're not, still have a good time. Have some drinks with your family. Enjoy, everybody.
Yep. See you guys.
All right. See ya.